on YouTube. People are getting in. People are waiting. We'll just wait for 2 minutes. This people has to come. YouTube is on. Students will just wait for 2 minutes because some people are getting in. Can you switch off the video? Well, I'm going to mute you on YouTube over here. Otherwise, echo. Yes. Very good afternoon to all the participants. Today we have with us Dr. Kirti Kishore, an alumnus of the college and the department. He has been associated with us for quite a few years now, and he has also trained himself in life skills. So he also gives life skills education to college students. And he recently obtained his doctorate from IIT Mumbai. So he's a full-fledged organizational psychologist. And the other day when I was just talking to him, and I asked him if he would like to share something of what he knows, and something that he would like to share with the students, which would, he told me that he would like to, and now also since everything has gone online and students need to access resources online, he said he would like to take a session on online resources in psychology, and that's how he's here today. He has associated with us earlier and he will be associating with us even in the future. So as part of our alumni outreach and reconnect program, this is our fourth in the series. We have with us Dr. Kirti Kishore. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to Kirti Kishore and all the participants. So he would be presenting the online resources to you, explaining to you, maybe for about 40-45 minutes. And then you can ask questions and clarify whatever doubts or any clarifications that you require. You can do it for about 15-20 minutes. So, Kirti, welcome, and over to you, Kirti.
Thank you. So thank you, ma'am, for the introduction and warm words. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes,
Okay,
Kirti, you're audible.
thank you. So first of all, thank you for ma'am and the entire Aloysius Institute for inviting me and asking me to give this lecture webinar. I mean, this idea also something I always appreciate, the alumni reconnect or outreach program, because if you see any good institute in worldwide, it will have a very good alumni base, alumni network. So students come back to their institutions and kind of give back in various ways. So this is a very good initiative, and I'm happy to be a part of this. So I'll give you some ideas about what exactly I'm going to do today. So this is primarily meant for the undergrad. That's the target audience for me. And I'll be talking about some resources which are primarily online, which you can access. Most of them are free resources, which can be accessed with an internet connection. So what I'm doing, I'm compiling them. So it's not something I'm doing original here, but I'm just compiling all the resources and giving you in some kind of a format so that you can understand and appreciate that. And I'm also giving you some kind of a pointer probably so that you can take it forward. As ma'am said, things have become virtual in last few months. So I also thought maybe this is a good, platform or maybe a good time to talk about these online resources, which are most of them are free, so you can become self-learners. And as all of you are graduate students, so it's become very important that you also take up learning of your own along with your classroom teaching and other resources. So that's the idea. So I'm again assuming that some of you might have known these resources. That's assumption. Some of you might know, some of you may be exposed to this for the first time. Nevertheless, probably I'm taking you a tour, kind of all the websites or resources that is there. And we'll enter that website and see what is there. And I can give you some kind of a commentary or a summary of what it is. And again, when it comes to online, there are plenty of resources, there are plenty of sources. So it's important that you know that which is best. There are plenty of choices today, but you should know which is the good one, which is authentic one when it comes to choosing. So that's where I think this workshop or this webinar is going to help you. Yes, as ma'am said, we'll take around 40 minutes. I hope I should be able to complete by 40 minutes. Let me keep the timer. And then maybe if at all there's some questions you want to ask regarding the um, uh, you know uh, workshop, we can webinar, we can do that as well. So let me directly go to the presentation. So I have a slides, and then I'll be directly taking you to the respective websites, and from there we are going to take it forward. Okay, let me share my screen here. I hope it's visible to all of you. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So, so these are online resources, as the topic says. So I have kind of compiled them into different sources. Primarily, we are talking about the websites, and then we go to a certain podcast, which are popular online podcasts, and then we also go to the videos. So that way, I've divided them. So let's get into the websites and blogs. So some of you may be aware about these things. I mean, they're quite popular. I thought probably I will talk in detail about that. The first one is American Psychological Association, short APA. You might have heard about APA in various contexts, especially probably when you're writing your papers. In case if you're writing your assignment or something, your teacher might have asked you to cite the references in APA format. So APA is known for that, and also APA is a professional body of psychologists, and it also has so many resources, for students, for educators, for teachers, and policymakers. So let's go to the website and see how do we navigate. And a couple of things I wanted to show it here to you, so that you can make best use of that. So as you can see over here, so this is the website. Now all the COVID resources are, kind of every web page that you open, you can see that. And as you can navigate, there are many kind of tabs you can have: continuing education grants and standards and guidelines, and the research component. Lot of COVID-19 related aspects also there. And there's a magazine, I'll come to that later. Member content, if you become a member, you can become a student member. You can just check what you may have to pay in dollars and get the membership. Otherwise also there are so many free resources. As you can see, the style here, the books, journals, which are again very popular, the database, and so many other things there. So to find a job in psychology, APA services, there are plenty of that. And one thing I wanted to talk to you today is divisions of APA, which probably might be of interest. So it talks about, see, as you can see here, hopefully you can see my screen here. Discover the 54 divisions of APA. There are 54 divisions, and as you can see here, each are numbered, starting from Society for General Psychology to the last one, Trauma Psychology. And you can enter any one of them. For example, let's say my favorite here is always the 14, that's Society for Industrial and Organization Psychology, which would take me to the home page of this. And I have a lot many resources within this. It talks about the publications. It talks about other things, database, and plenty of other things. I can actually visit. This is the website. This is actually the web page of the 14 division 14. So you can try any other. If suppose if you are interested in, before it loads, suppose if you are interested in some other branches, You can explore that as well. For example, those who are interested in clinical psychology can look into that. Experimental psychology, cognitive sciences, you name anything, it is there. They are both theoretical field as well as their practitioner field. That means people do practice as these in these disciplines. Some of them may be in the evolving or emerging stage, so that you should be aware of. But this gives you a glimpse of what are the components of psychology. It is not just general psychology or industrial or clinical or educational. There are many, and most of them are getting their attention in general public also. For example, I can say sports psychology, which was earlier was very less known. Today you see IPL teams recruiting sports psychologists. So branches are developing. So if you're planning your career in psychology, you can always look beyond the traditional the specializations, as long as you think you can pursue this your career in this, and how you navigate. So this is an important resource, I would say. As I said, SIOP, if I go, I think there's a problem with the website here. Okay, let me reload it. So yes, so SIOP I have. Uh, there are so many aspects I can go through here, and the resources are combined or tabulated as students and professionals, and for media. So you can navigate. Basically, you can navigate through it and find a lot of important stuff. So you can see here education resources. Um, the top five challenges international students of IO face to overcome this. IO career. So if you enter any of these sites, you will also have information about career. So it will give you an overall picture about what you should do, how you should take your career forward, what skill you need to acquire, and what courses you can do. So an extensive resources, probably a must go for every psychology student, I would say. And if you come to the fag end here, you can see so many other things. PsycInfo is their database. Basically you get the abstract of as long as they're indexed in PsycInfo. Psych articles are full article, it's paid, all these services are paid. And these things and books, their publications, and so many videos. So this is one I keep revisiting this website in next slides as well. But the point is that this is one of the important web page you should always keep in your mind and keep exploring. Every day new content is added. One more thing I want to say is, suppose if probably you don't want to visit the website, one more thing you can do is always they have their social media presence, be it Facebook or any other social media. You can just like their page, so you keep getting the notifications regarding the new content that they add. So that's one more way you can access this information. If you see all psychology topics here, you can see there alphabetically they have listed plenty of them. So this is a must go. Okay, we'll revisit this a bit later. So the second one is again a US based association called Association for Psychological Sciences, APS they call it. One more organization. And you have again a lot of topics here, lot of articles which you can navigate through. And this is their virtual convention. This is going to be virtual in May 26 27. I think it is still open. If you want to send, if you have some papers, if you worked, you can think of, because you don't have to go to USA. Otherwise, Indians, when they get selected, the biggest problem was to travel. But now it's virtual. You don't have to spend on travel, and you can do it from home. Just explore this. I'll not go into detail, but you can explore this. And other things you have, again they have clubbed it this way. Journals you have, teaching resources, student resources. Let me just go to student resources which are useful for you. Some are meant for members, some are open. As you can see, this is I think an Indian psychologist. Yeah. So Suparna Rajanam, she's Bangalore based, but now she's currently in US as a professor. So you can see the stories and inspiring stories and plenty of things. The only thing you have to just go on navigating, and if possible, you can become a member, but not necessary. Most of the stuff are free, which you can download. So this is another thing. Research topics. If I go to See, there are so many things. If you're, suppose if you're interested in something called, you know, climate change, let's say it's a new topic, you can just go through it, and they have resources over here. And one more thing, let me tell you, most these are all evidence based. When I say evidence based, they are research based publications. These are not like pop psych. Not saying pop psych is bad or something, but all of them are backed up by a good research, peer reviewed research. Peer reviewed, when I say, it means your publication is being reviewed by at least couple of professionals in the same field, and they say it's worth publishing. So backed up by that science, these articles are written. These articles may not be the journal article, but these are backed up by the science of various journals. So therefore, it gives you a scientific perspective to a psychology. So this is another, as they have their, follow Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, you name it, they have their presence there. So APS, or Psychological Sciences, Association for Psychological Sciences, is one more thing that you should look into. Again, you can like them in your social media and get the updates. All right, this is, so far we are talking about the US, and now coming to Europe. Basically, this is one, a British Psychological Society. Primarily, they are research into clinical, I would say, primarily. APS also similar, but you will have a lot of resources again coming to see what is psychology, become a psychologist, A to Z psychology. So all for undergrad students, those who want to explore further, could be a really good resource. And they have something called a Research Digest, a kind of a blog which you can explore their publication. And again, let me go to the, they have their events, their annual conference. See, there are some free webinars which you can probably attend over here. Now, webinars are there everywhere. So let me put the conference. So Division of Forensic Psychology, Division of Counseling Psychology, Women, Social Psychology, Health. So you name it, all the branches, they have their own thing. I'm not saying everything is free over here, but you can actually browse through them. And this is an old one anyway. So you can browse through them and kind of get an idea about the thing. Mostly, I think this year's also BPS is going online in their, conference. So BPS, one more thing that you can look into. If I had to just go to, let's say, become a psychologist, let's say, I'll click on this. So you have, mostly they're talking about Europe here, but anyway, you can still get an idea of what is the career trajectory as a psychologist. So this is one more thing I would strongly recommend British Psychological Society to look into this. Going forward, we can also go for these are primarily the official sites of three organizations. There are some blog posts, there are many in fact, but these two are most popular and have a lot of resources, and they're quite genuine in terms of that you don't have they are curated list. So this may be very popular. I'm sure you might be liking this in your social media, all about psychology. It's a blog, and as you can see, there's a founder, David Webb, and you have articles here. The one thing I like over here is a book a month, which is every month they talk about a new book in psychology or psychological sciences, which you can kind of, they've reviewed it, so you get to know what are the new publication coming in psychology. And they have these memes and cartoons, which is another thing. um, so right, so this is this is not a website, it's primarily a blog. And if you go to resources, you can see the psych book and psych article, courses, journals, help. They have their this one also, they sell few things here. If you want to buy, you can buy their stuff. um, Okay, let me just click on this types of psychology. So you have this here. All right. So you always come across this psychologist as mind readers. So this is one more thing which I usually kind of follow this, and this gives you a better idea about what's happening in the field. But one thing, especially when you follow blog, just be aware that you should verify the information. These are not official sources, but make sure if they say something, make sure that it's been verified. You go back and verify it in somehow, or through the official sources. So this is about all about psychology, and they usually list movies and so many stuff, so many other things in psychology, the movie list and other things, which you can probably uh, kind of explore. Psych expert question and answers. So they have some interviews also. So again, it's up to you to explore it the way you want it and navigate it there. All right. So coming to the last one here, Psych Central, again, like all about psychology, but it gives you some more resources here. So what I like over here is they have certain tests which you can take. See, for example, I can, again, I'm not sure about the norms and other thing, in the sense of these are free, but still you can just do it. If you want to take this 16 pf, this is not exactly 16 pf, a version of 16 pf. If you want to go, you can just click on this. These are free. You can just you can enter this, or you can directly get into the test, uh, the Jung's personality test. So see, I have the questions and their options. You can just click and go to the test, and they will give you your scores also. So this is something which probably you can enjoy. The anxiety test. So again, so this is something you can make use of it, right? Okay. All right. So this is the thing, and then you have other scales also. I also saw, yeah, see the personality test, emotional IQ, and so many other things. There's the founder of the uh, blog. You have it here. This is something I really liked here, the quizzes and everything. And again, more of clinical psychology um, topics that you can see over here. News and expert. So primarily I like the quizzes part, which you can probably take and get to know. Or but again, it's not a substitute for a real clinical test. This is just to get an exposure to these things and get to know about them as a topic. So this is one more, Psych Central. It doesn't mean that this lists are not exhaustive list. As I said, I mean, these are some of the thing which you can find. Probably these are pointers. Later you can go and search for more information if you think. But as I said, most of the things get covered. Most of the thing about basics of psychology and fields of psychology and various branches gets covered in these 5 websites there. So moving forward, uh, magazines. Now there are also like web pages, but what you can do, the specialities that you can always download and read, especially the first two. Again, I'm going back to APA site, which has their in-house magazine called Monitor. Um, okay, Monitor on Psychology, and this is the current issue. As you can see, it's available in their App Store, Google Play, and Kindle. You can just download and read it on your thing. And this is the PDF version. The good thing is you can just download the PDF version. So this, I guess, November or December issue, mostly. Yeah, I think it's a November, December issue. And you can see over there. Again, an excellent source, research-based, evidence-based source of information that you are going to get, and which is free of cost again. You can see the cover story, and they have other things here. Lot many, they cover so many aspects. It's not restricted to one single topic, rather it goes on to multiple topics in psychology, right? So this is one more, the new thing, gadgets and whatever the new things are happening, kind of, right? The good thing is that all these writings are backed up by science. That's the most important thing. They cite the original work, and you can go back and kind of read the original work if you want to. So this is one thing, and especially I will also suggest for those who are interested in research in later part of your career, start reading, because the research problem you might get it here, because there could be something new that you might kind of come across, and you might be interested and start reading more about that. So you can develop your research idea by reading this practitioner literature. So those who want to take up research, I would say you should also look into the practitioner literature, something like this, along with the journal literature here. So the new books which has come, so many things, I don't want to bombard you with a lot of details. So this is the thing you can go through. It's again free. So monitor on psychology. The second one is again by APS, Association for Psychological Sciences. So they call it as Observer. Let me go to the latest issue here. Okay, the last issue is December issue. We can go here. So you have the topics which you can kind of read, or if you want, you can also download the PDF version. That's a good thing. You can read it on any device later, and it's free again. And they have a cover topic each time, and other topics also being covered. Right. So again, as I said, May 26, 27, they had their virtual. You can again visit their website and see. Similarly, I think APA also have their annual convention, mostly in August. Mostly it's going to be virtual again. So this is another resources we should explore more. So this is about the APS thing. And coming to the third one, scientific, actually this is in one of the popular magazine in science, Scientific American. And I think few years ago they started with Scientific American Mind. It's focusing on brain and behavior. So it is not free. You have to pay. Either you should have institutional subscription or individual subscription. But as you can see here, cognition, mental health, neurological health, and neuroscience. But there are some free articles which probably you can kind of download, and may not be downloading, but you can read. So now, as you see, most of the articles on COVID-19 and coping. So yeah, this is again science-based, Scientific American Mind. This is the print or the actual magazine. How it looks like. So if you want, you can get the subscription, but this is sufficient. You can just browse through and get the latest topics here. So this is one more thing, especially for those who want to do research or expand your knowledge about the current happening. Scientific American Mind is one more resources. Finally, there's the most popular, Psychology Today is one of the, I think it's been there from, I'm not sure how long, but it's been there. I've been seeing this from a very long time. And again, one more excellent resource for reading. It's not free. Once again, it's not free, but they will put out certain free articles which you can go through and read. This is how it looks like. It's monthly. They have a different topic focusing, and then you can um, you know read it. I think if you subscribe to some of the magazine thing, I mean, there are some, I mean, not able to recall it now, but there are some services which you can subscribe to, and then you can kind of, you know, uh, may get it free there as a part of subscription. So that is also possible with Psychology Today. So this is about the magazines that are available. Going to the next one, these are podcasts. Again, these are my favorites because you can listen to them anytime without any disturbance. You can do, you must be doing, you know, you're going to gym or walk, taking a walk. You can always listen. And these are my favorites too. I usually make a point I listen to. And you can have it in Google Podcast if you're using an Android phone. It will have a web version also, and even the iOS version also. So this is the most popular among all. Scott Barry Kaufman, and I think it was listed in one of the top podcasts, not only in psychology but in general. So he's a cognitive psychologist, Scott Barry Kaufman, and you can so these are the people who have invited. It's like one Scott Barry Kaufman will be the interviewer, followed by the invited guest who will be talking about, and they have their presence in all these apps, so which you can download free and listen to it. I'll not play it now, not necessary. I think you can always visit and download. They're all free, of course. This is recommended. One of the things highly recommend you to try this out. So this is Scott Barry Kaufman, and yeah, Paul Bloom, Yale University. So and one thing for you, sometime this talk are little higher level, in the sense the topic they take up are bit higher level topics. uh, Maybe at the undergrad level you may find it bit difficult to follow, but it's okay, you can still listen and try to understand what you get. So there are other podcasts which are simpler. The This is Speaking of Psychology, which is by APA. This is also a wonderful resource coming from American Psychological Association. Okay, it's still loading. But my favorite, if you ask me which one, I would go for Savvy Psychologist, because it's very simple in the sense, especially for the students, undergrad student, this would be quite simpler version, and you can. These are like the host will be talking about the topic, so you get a better perspective on the topics. So okay, I think there is a small delay here. Okay. Yeah, Savvy Psychologist. Jade, who is the host here. And the one thing I like here is always evidence based. She writes here evidence based research. So she'll be talking about a topic as Okay, I'm sorry. There was some technical issue. I was logged out, I guess. So let me begin the sharing. So I was, okay, I think I'm audible now. So this is what I was talking about, savvy psychologist. So Jade Wu, so many topics, and these are the topics of day-to-day life that you face. For example, how to deal with mean sarcasm, how to reduce money anxiety. So these are simple little practical topics, and she has usually within 10, 15 minutes, she gives a practical tips or evidence-based tips to how to handle them. So this is one of my favorite because anything you want to quickly learn or understand, this is one of the suggestions I am having. Okay, so savvy psychologist. And speaking of psychology, again, this is an APA based. We'll come to that later. I think it's still loading. Then I have this behavioral groups, which is also quite popular and useful. There are two hosts, and they invite guests, and they would ask them questions and interview. And you have some really uh, interesting guests coming over here and talking about that. So that is one more thing I would suggest here. If you just click on episodes, you can see who are the guests who had been here before. Um, you have some popular guests coming in and talking about these things. For example, you have Roy Baumeister, one of the famous psychologists from Queensland University, Australia. So he's there, and a lot of topics gets covered here. And some of the senior psychologists they invite and talk about different aspects of life. This is again one of the favorite. You can, and I also like the sense of humor that they bring in. It's not very boring, it's more of the sense of humor, the dialogue, the liveliness of the podcast, also quite interesting. So this is again, speaking of psychology, APA1. Again, you can listen to Google Podcast or any one of these. And this is one more thing which you can explore. Finally, coming to this is particularly related to OB, organization behavior, but not restricted to it. As long as you're an employee, this is something very useful. And they have a TED tie-up, so you can see over here the real reason you procrastinate. So these are all not only useful for industry people, but for almost everyone. The science of the deal, uh, relationship at work. And again, Adam Grant is one of the is a professor of psychology at Wharton School of Business, and he's written a couple of books. I mean, originals and Give and Take, which are bestsellers. So again, his style of presentation is quite interesting, and the guest he invites also are really experts in their field. So these fives are my suggestion for podcast. If you're never listened to podcasts, it's a good thing you start, because it's free. Second, you can listen to them anytime. When you're doing other things also you can listen, and you get to learn a lot about the current psychology and perspective from different people, different psychologists. There are many more, but I'm not listing. These are five, I think, which you can really listen, and you can explore if you think there are more that you want to listen to. Coming to psychology lectures, so we are moving from audio to video component here. uh, Most of the thing I've listed are free of cost. They are there, and you can just YouTube. You can just go and see. The one is MIT Open Courseware. These are slightly old lectures, maybe 2011 or so, but still you can listen to them. These are Introduction to Psychology, Fall 2011, MIT Open Courseware. So you have all the topic here. You have almost 24 videos on different topics of psychology. This introductory topic. Because YouTube has so many things. The one thing you should be careful that there are plenty of people who put videos over here. Make sure that you look into something which is authentic, which can be trusted, and you kind of understand. So MIT Open Course, Intro to Psych, is one thing I recommend. The second is from Yale University. That's also Paul Bloom's lecture on Introduction to Psychology. These are excellent, especially Skinner and Freud, and the basics of psychology. If you want to revisit or you want to get yourself acquainted with, This is again, these are live classes, uh, you know, being recorded, and they put it as an open course. So this is one more. And then coming to Indian thing, some of the Indian thing. Now this is again Government of India initiative, Consortium for Educational Communication. This became popular after lockdown. People started kind of watching this. So here I'm directly taking you to the home page, Consortium for Educational Communication, and I can just scroll down, and you can see all the subjects, but yeah, I can take you to the social science here, and as you can see, we have psychology. I'll just click on that. And you have all the topics you can see coming over here: clinical psychology, and these are prepared based on I guess UGC syllabus for undergrads, and the same topic which you study mostly uh, are being discussed here. Mainly clinical psychology, you can say, or general psychology. This again, if you want Indian resources, this is one of the thing which I can recommend. It's again free of cost. And coming to next one, we can also go to this is again a part of consortium, but they call it as Saraswat. That is a DTH channel. Channel 4 is for social sciences. If you go here, these are available on your TV also, as long as you can access the these channels, DTH channels, you can see, or else YouTube also. Now the way they've organized is slightly cumbersome. You may not directly get it, even though this is psychology over here, it may be a little difficult. If I go to playlist, and if I go to psychology, you can see only 2 videos. But what I would do, I will just uh, you know type over here, because I want to see what are videos available for psychology. And you can get here list of things, statistics, and you can see psychology of adjustment and thing. So one thing I really liked here is there are few lectures which are taken like live classes, right? For example, let me just click on this fields of psychology. These are actual classroom thing. So if I get just go forward, so these are actual classes which you can see. So the instructor is taking the classes and interacting with the students, and they are in a live class. So this makes you feel that you're also part of the class, instead of just looking at the monitor or web-based lectures. These lectures are interactive. So this is again, I would highly recommend for you to. And almost all the basic topics are covered over here. So if you see theoretical perspective, social psychology, research methods, physical education, social work, and you just name it and it's been there. And there, see, these are 2 years, 3 years old videos, but nowadays they have kind of people are um, kind of looking at them, and they're adding few more videos here. So this is one thing you can explore just to get a better idea on the topics. Okay, so now, this last one I would recommend again YouTube, that NPTEL, that is National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. And these are NPTEL programs, but the videos are uploaded here. And most of the faculties are IIT professors here. As you can see, IIT Guwahati. I think Professor Naveen Kashyap is taking this one. And Professor Braj Bhushan, you can see IIT Kanpur. So he's talking about the introduction to psychology. And cognitive psychology, primary topic are cognitive and related aspect, as you can see, cognitive and psychology of everyday, psychology of language. So yeah, some of others, but make sure you just go to the NPTEL HRD or NPTEL courses. Sometimes they're listed according to the institution. This is something, again, if you want Indian classes, you can go for it. Now there are 2 more. This you already know, the MOOC courses, massive open online courses, Coursera and EDX. So they also offer a lot of courses. There are 2 ways. One, you pay the money and get your certificate. or else you can attend the courses, but you don't get the certificate, but the classes are free. So some are archived, which you can go and listen to. So a lot of courses are listed in psychology offered by different universities across the globe. So this is one more thing, Coursera and edX. There are many, but these are most two trustworthy or the most popular, I would say, you can look into. So this is one more thing I would like to for you to explore, the video component of it. Coming to the next one, we have some of the lab, in the sense these are demonstrations of psychology lab, because psychology being a science, we need to experiment and kind of learn the stuff. So it's kind of a simulation based lab. So I'll take you one of them, this APA online laboratory. Some of you may know, some of you may not be. I will not register, I will just go to the demonstration section and I can show you a few of the things that they have listed over here. See, they're the topic wise they've listed. Okay, let's say if I have to go to the history of psychology, I just click on this and it will give me some kind of an animated list of a timeline of psychology, as you can see here, starting from 1987, 1879 onwards. You can just go like this and you can see what are the things happen, and it's a very interactive way of presenting the information with the date and time and people who are responsible for it. Each milestone are listed. So this is one of the thing. um, you can also, let's say you want to take up some test, for example, um, let's say Ebbinghaus illusion. You want to really take this test, and you know these are for demonstration. You know that both are equal, but in one cases you would say that this one looks bigger than the other one, and you have the explanation for it. So these are small little interactive activities that you can take up and enhance your practical knowledge of learning of psychology. So there are a lot of demonstration. You can just explore this and go for it, right? So this is one of the source. The other sources are okay. S- Sorry for the lag here. All right. So okay, this is psychology network. This is maintained by a professor, and they have listed all the possible resources for social psychology and cognition. And it's, you can navigate through it. There's so many resources they have listed. And suppose if I want something on, and they actually also have some of the surveys being floated regarding COVID-19, which you can take, and your data would be used for research. So this is another um, you know resource which I would say you can explore. Make sure some link may not be working. See, some link may not be working, but you can still explore them here. This is again the free of cost. And see, psychology textbooks and online psychology studies, psychology career, clinical psychology, and things like that. And they also had a bit of a lab thing. I'm just exploring that. I think Yeah, primarily they're talking about the resources here. Yeah, you can navigate and you can find, I think, yeah, here they are. Like once you enter a particular link, you can see here on different aspect of social psychology, um, men's studies and resources, and some of the tests also they've given, which you can explore here. So coming to the next one is Psych Toolkit. Again, I'm not sure about the authenticity, but I think they have their presence. They have YouTube channel and things like that. And there are some demo experiment you can take it up. And for example, I'll just click on the library of experiment and I'm looking at. So you have all these experiment here, Stroop effect and visual search. Some of them may be part of your practical also, so you can kind of take it up over here. Let's say negative priming, I can just go. They explain what it is. They also give you the paper, academic paper where it is first published. And sometimes they're giving a zip file. Make sure that you just make sure that you're taking it from the official source, and don't want to harm your computer here. Let me see. Some of them you have to download, some of them you can directly take it on the website as a demo. So again, this one more site you can visit and take your I think Stroop task should be free, or I think, yeah, run the demo. Yeah, for example, you can run the demo here. So they have their instructions, right? So you know that Stroop task. So you have to keep pressing it. I'm just not taking it, but I'm just showing here. So you can take it up and run your experiments here. Now, if your interest is to develop an experimental, let's say, test or an experiment, this may be a little advanced for you. ePrime is one of the software which is a paid software, but you can still download a demo of it. And if you know a little bit of coding, probably you can run your own experiment. You can devise your experiment. You can give it to participant and collect the data. Usually done by researcher, but if you know a little bit of coding, you can try this one also. ePrime, it is called. So ePrime based, a lot of resources you can get on the web, some datas which you can run here and see the demonstration, or you can build your own experiment. Even for example, as simple as Stroop task or primacy effect, you can build an experiment with that, but you need to know a little bit of coding over here. I think some are based on code, some are based on certain. I have not used this, but I've seen my friends using it for their research data collection, especially for the experimental thing. So this is one resource which you can depend upon. And if you want an open source, this is one, Open Sesame. It is again experimental builder. It's free actually. See, it's free. So this also you can download, but you have to build it from the scratch, I guess. So but there are tutorials, YouTube tutorials you can watch and you can build. So if your interest lies in building any experiment and collecting the data from the participant, even if, let's say, even from your classmates also, you can go for it if you know a bit of a coding here. So this is about the lab. There are many sites I've come across about demonstration, but sometimes the link doesn't work. Sometimes you're not sure if you download how far they are safe. So I've only listed those which are, these two are again, for building, these two are for demonstration. So this is something which more interactive resources that you can explore. Uh, Coming to the last one, there is something called academic writing. As all of you are scholars of psychology, you may want to improve your academic writing. So there are some sites or resources which you can make use. Again, going back to APA. So APA has their style and grammar guidelines. So you can see so many here, paper format, and if you want to grammar, the tenses, and the bias-free language, and all of them can be downloaded. You can just click on them and they talk about certain term. For example, where do you use this term? The idea of age and gender in a scientific language, right? And they also give you the references. So this is one excellent source for improving your academic writing skill. So when I say academic writing, it's not only journal writing. Even when you write an assignment, you should also follow the APA guidelines so that you get accustomed to it. And later, when you take up your minor research or major research, you get acquainted to it. Table and figures, how to make table according to APA, so everything. So this is one of the excellent source. The other one is Purdue University. It's called OWL, Online Writing Laboratory. That's once again very useful for academic writing. So you have tips here: how to avoid plagiarism, graduate writing, jobs, and the like. All of you, we use APA style. So I'm clicking on APA guide, and right now we have APA 7th edition. So that's what they've given, and APA formatting and style. For the first year, this may be a little new, but I think eventually you will also have to follow the APA style. See, they have a sample here. How should it look? The title page of an essay or your submission of an assignment. So again, excellent free resource which you can explore. The final one, Grammarly. You might have come across Grammarly ad in your website or in your TV. This is again a very useful tool for improving your writing and your grammar. We being the second language being English being second language, we might have some problem with the grammar and style. So this is something which is an online tool which can help us to fix that. And you have all the extension for Chrome and extension for your Gmail, which you can just plug it. And most of them are free, but it has a premium version also. If you want, you can go. The one more thing you can go is that they have their blog. For example, if I go to blog, Grammarly blog will have small articles on how to improve your writing. For example, see, I'll just click on writing tips. So it shows here how to respectfully disagree with in writing. So there's a small little article, but it tells you so many things here. And it's not only academic here, it's all kind of writing that you do, professional writing, I can say. So these are the things I wanted to list. Some of the things you might already know these things. Some of them may be new for you, and I'm just giving you a pointer here. The idea is that I'm giving you a pointer so that later when you go back and when you start learning, self-learning, you can make use of all these resources and get acquainted yourself with the latest thing that's happening in the field of psychology. There's nothing new here, but the point is that how much are we making use of these resources? So this is just an idea of showing you some pointers so you can take it forward and make use of these resources. So I'm concluding here because I think we are almost 45 minutes. And if there's any question pertaining to this or in general about psychology, we can have a discussion. Thank you. You can put it in the chat box also if you have some questions and queries.
Students, if you have any questions, you can unmute and ask, or you can put it in the chat box.
Okay, there's a question from Disha regarding scope of industrial psychology in India. Okay, let me say it in this way. When you ask about the scope, I need to talk about the career also. So as far as my knowledge, broadly, there are two ways. One, you become an academic or academician. The second, you become a practitioner. So when I say academician, you are both a teacher as well as a researcher in most of the cases. So you take up this path or trajectory and you teach in universities or colleges or other private institutions. At the same time, you take up research, primary research, collect the data, write papers, publish paper. This is one career path. So wherever industrial psychology is offered, whichever university or college, you can get into teaching. The only requirement, you should have an NET. That's a minimum requirement. Or if you are working at the state level, a state level eligibility test is the requirement. A PhD is always, an advisable thing to do if you are thinking of a long-term career perspective. That's one thing. Second, if you are talking about the perspective of a practitioner, you have many fields. For example, you can become get into psychometry, where you assess employees. There are many of my friends who are working as test developers. So they develop tests for employee recruitment, employee selection, and employee training and development. That's one. Second, training and development. Yeah, no, no. Okay, let me just complete this. So the point is that there are many career trajectories. As a practitioners, you have multiple career trajectories. You can become a manager or HR manager in a company, as long as they recognize you as an industrial psychologist and give you a task of an industrial psychologist, because there's a difference between what MBA can do and industrial psychologist can do. So these are another. So broadly, as a practitioner, if you want to work for an industry or as a consultant, that's one part. Second, as an academic, you want to teach in university and do research, that's another part. That these two paths can also be, can be combined at times. You can work in as a professor. At the same time, you can do some program for industry. You can be a consultant for industry. So that's possible. The scope is good. It's growing up now. People are recognizing. But one thing you should know is which trajectory you want to take up. You want to be an academic, or you want to be a practitioner. If you're a practitioner, develop the skill, join as an intern initially, learn from other people, and start reading books or magazines on practitioner books. So I didn't put it here because it's exclusively meant for undergrads. So I didn't put anything on OBHR related stuff, but that's there. The scope is good, but just see whether you like the field, you have an aptitude for that, and definitely the scope is good now. One more thing about teaching, I forgot to mention that you can also teach in management schools or B schools. They have an area called OBHR, where people with industrial psychology background can teach, as long as you fulfill the criteria. So it's good, I would say. Somebody asked about criminal psychology. I'm sorry, I'm not from that area. But yes, it is. I think there's an institute in Gujarat about forensic psychology. You can explore that. But as I can say, it's a bit limited as of now. As of now, but if you can explore and take up a degree in that and go and study in a good institute, I'm sure there'll be placements for you. It boils down to your passion for the subject, as well as where you want to work. You may not get, suppose if you're a Mangalorean, if you do some criminal psychology, you may not expect to get a job here. You may have to travel elsewhere and get a job. So that part also you can keep in mind. Okay. What aptitude is required being a practitioner? Yeah. So when I say practitioner, you're dealing with the people here, right? Most of the time, if you're if you're a consultant, sometime you may be developing the test or something. So you should have an aptitude for test development, the skill and knowledge for that, which boils down to psychometry and statistics there. So that's what I mean to say, aptitude. Second, if you want to be a frontline manager, you should be good with the people in terms of managing people and motivating them and training them. So it depends on which aspect of a practitioner role you're taking up. You can be on the front line, interacting with the people on a day-to-day basis, or at a back end, we may be developing the test or writing the training modules and doing such things. So depending on which is most comfortable for you, you can choose that.
Students, do you have any more questions? Because our Zoom slot is only up to 3:30.
Okay. Okay.
So, Kirti, thank you so much, Kirti. But before we close,
Yes.
I have my first batch student who's also an organizational psychologist.
Okay.
And she works for Irmiti Software Technology, Bangalore, as an associate vice president HR.
Oh, nice.
Miss Reshma
Oh,
Bopanna.
Reshma, you know.
So, Reshma, yes, your friend Kirti is here.
Yeah. Hi, Reshma.
Hello, Reshma.
I think some technical glitch, I guess. So.
Reshma, we can't hear you. Reshma, we just saw you for a second. We can't hear you, Reshma. Can you unmute? She's unmuted. No. Reshma, we can't hear you. Use your phones, maybe. YouTube. Went on. This one, what does it mean? She went on. No, not for anybody. Huh? No, it's not. Reshma can be. Is she there? Let me. Click on the arrow. Where? You can hear us. Reshma, are you there? I think there's some technical issue. Okay. Maybe next time then. Yes, so Kirti, thank you so much, Kirti.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
For taking them on a tour of online resources. And I'm sure the students will check out at some point or the other based on their need.
Right.
And definitely it is going to be of great help to all the students, especially the ones who would like to pursue a career in psychology.
True.
And yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Kirti, I'll see you in the next week.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. So one of the reason was, as you said, to kind of promote students to take up psychology. So that's one of the reason of this also, so that they can think of taking up a career in psychology if they are a bit confused about what future holds for them, especially people who have selected other subjects also. I think there's a triple major. So if you think psychology is the right
Yeah.
career choice for you, then one should go for it. That's what my suggestion is. I think Reshma is
Yes.
back.
Yeah,
Probably, I think.
Reshma is back. Reshma?
Are you guys able to hear me now?
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
Yes, yes.
Reshma. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Yes.
thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Go
So,
ahead. Go ahead, Reshma.
good afternoon, everyone. Sorry about that technical glitch from my end. So, I am very happy that I've been given this opportunity to thank Kirti Kishore. So, I'd like to express our sincere thanks from Dr. Shalini Ayyappa, St. Aloysius College, and all the participants today for this webinar. It was an excellent coverage to online resources in psychology. You have basically checked upon all the sites, magazines, podcasts, lectures, online laboratories, all that have been very prominent and which we were not aware of during our graduation days. Right. Thank you so much, Kirti Kishore, for putting in that effort and making us all aware of where we can go to for information. Right. Once again, I'd like to say that we are all most grateful to you for taking out time to this afternoon. It is a great pleasure. Thank you very much, Kirti Kishore.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reshma. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reshma, and thank you, Kirti. Thank you, students.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've come to the end of this session, and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice weekend to everybody.